The stars looked different tonight, Dr. Olivia Mason thought as she adjusted the radio telescope at Arecibo Observatory. For 6 years, she had watched the same patch of sky, looking for patterns in the cosmic noise. Tonight, something had changed. Her computer screen flashed with new data. The signal was weak but steady, unlike the random bursts from dying stars or the rhythmic pulses of pulsars. This pattern was complex, almost like language, she whispered to herself. Her hands trembled as she saved the recording and ran it through her analysis program. By dawn, Olivia hadn't slept. She called her supervisor, Dr. Peter Walsh. "I need you to listen to this," she said when he arrived, bags under his eyes from being woken so early. She played the recording, now cleaned up to reveal distinct patterns. Peter listened, his face changing from annoyance to surprise to wonder. "This is not natural," he agreed. "Have you told anyone else?" "Just you," Olivia said. "I wanted to be sure first." Within hours, the observatory buzzed with activity. Government officials arrived by helicopter. Military personnel secured the area. Olivia found herself explaining her discovery to serious-faced men and women who asked pointed questions about signal origin and possible meanings. Admiral William Carter arrived on the third day. He was tall, with short gray hair and eyes that seemed to see everything. He didn't waste time with small talk. "Dr. Mason, the President has formed a response team. You're on it. Pack enough for a month. We leave in an hour." At a secure facility in Colorado, Olivia joined scientists, military strategists, and linguists trying to decode the message. Progress was slow until Alan Parker, a Navy cryptologist with kind eyes and a brilliant mind, suggested they think differently. "We're treating this like a code," he said. "But what if it's more like music? Patterns within patterns meant to be understood as a whole?" This approach yielded results. They identified repeated segments that might be greetings or identifiers. They created a response message using similar patterns, hoping to establish communication. 3 weeks after Olivia's discovery, the world changed forever. People all over Earth looked up to see massive ships appearing in orbit. Their designs defied human understanding, shapes that seemed to bend space itself, surfaces that reflected nothing, yet somehow glowed with inner light. Global panic followed. Stock markets crashed. Religious groups proclaimed the end times. Military forces worldwide went on high alert. The first broadcast came 24 hours later. Every screen on Earth showed the same image. A creature with 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern, skin like polished bronze, and a mouth that moved in ways human mouths couldn't. "People of Earth," it said in perfect English. "I am Xanthar, emissary of the Galactic Council. Your signals have been received. Your world is now known to us. We come with purpose." Governments scrambled to form a unified response. Admiral Carter was chosen to lead the first meeting with the aliens, with Olivia and Alan joining his team because of their familiarity with the signals. The meeting took place on a neutral platform, an old oil rig in the Pacific Ocean. Helicopters brought the human delegation. A beam of light from the sky delivered Xanthar and 2 guards whose bodies seemed partly mechanical. "Admiral Carter," Xanthar said, its voice deep and slightly electronic. "You represent your species in this historic moment." Carter stood straight. "I do. We come in peace and hope for friendly relations between our worlds." Xanthar made a sound like stones grinding together, perhaps laughter. "Peace requires order. Order requires governance. The Galactic Council has maintained order among 17 species for 10,000 of your years. We offer Earth membership in this order. We're interested in learning more," Carter said carefully. "Good. The terms are simple. Earth will disarm its military forces. You will accept Council oversight of your technological development. Resources will be shared according to Council determination. Your internal politics may continue unchanged in areas that do not conflict with Council directives." Olivia felt cold despite the warm day. This wasn't an offer of friendship. It was a demand for surrender. Carter kept his face neutral. "These terms would need to be discussed by all Earth nations. We would need time." 30 days, Xanthar said. "The Council is generous but not patient. After 30 days, we will expect compliance." Non-compliance will be viewed as hostility. After the aliens left, Carter's calm facade cracked. "They're not here to welcome us to the neighborhood," he said. "They're here to conquer us." Back in Washington, President Eleanor Wright called an emergency United Nations session. While world leaders argued about the best response, Olivia and Alan worked day and night studying the alien communications. "Look at this," Olivia said one night, pointing to patterns in the alien transmissions between their ships. "There's fragmentation in their signals. Different patterns from different sources." Alan nodded. "Not everyone's singing the same song. There might be disagreement among them." They brought their findings to Admiral Carter, who immediately saw the importance. "If they're not unified, we might find allies, or at least exploit their divisions." President Wright's address to the emergency UN session was broadcast worldwide. She stood tall despite her small frame, her voice steady. "We face a defining moment in human history," she said. "The Galactic Council offers us membership, but at the cost of our freedom. Throughout history, humans have faced similar choices: kneel and live safely, or stand and risk everything for freedom. I believe we must stand." Not every nation agreed. Some argued for acceptance of the Council's terms, fearing the alternative. Others suggested trying to play for more time. The debate raged until Dr. Nathan Hayes, a physicist from MIT, presented his analysis of the alien technology. "Their ships use a gravitational field manipulation we've only theorized about," he explained. "Advanced, yes, but not magic. We can understand it, and what we can understand, we can fight." As the 30-day deadline approached, humanity's answer took shape. Military forces worldwide began secret coordination. Scientists shared discoveries openly, ignoring patents and national security concerns. A plan emerged, not just to fight, but to win. On the 30th day, President Wright delivered humanity's answer from the same platform where they had first met Xanthar. "The people of Earth have considered your offer," she said, looking directly at the alien emissary. "We decline. Earth will not kneel." Xanthar's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. "This is unfortunate. You do not understand what you face." "Perhaps not," Wright answered. "But we understand who we are, and we choose freedom, whatever the cost." As the alien delegation departed, Admiral Carter turned to Olivia. "It begins now," he said quietly. "God help us all." Above them, the alien ships began to move into attack formation. The world held its breath as the alien ships moved. Everyone expected immediate destruction. Instead, the massive vessels simply repositioned themselves in Earth's orbit. A new message came from Xanthar. "You have chosen unwisely. The Council grants you 7 more days to reconsider. Use this time to understand the futility of resistance." In the White House Situation Room, President Wright met with her crisis team. Admiral Carter paced the floor while military leaders from around the world joined by secure video. "They're giving us time," said General Linda Martinez of the Mexican Armed Forces. "Why?" "They want us intact," replied Admiral Carter. "A ruined planet has less value." Dr. Nathan Hayes cleared his throat. The young physicist looked like he hadn't slept in days. "Or they're gathering more forces. I've been studying their energy readings. These ships are powerful, but they're not planet killers." "How confident are you about that?" President Wright asked. 80%, Hayes said. "Their weapons are designed for precision. They want Earth's resources and maybe our labor. Dead planets don't provide either." Olivia Mason entered with Alan Parker. "We have something," she said. "We've been monitoring their communications. There's disagreement among them." Alan connected his laptop to the room's main screen. 3 distinct communication patterns. The dominant one is aggressive, but another seems cautious, almost protective. A third is minimal but clearly separate from the others. "Factions," Carter said. "They're not as united as they want us to believe." President Wright stood. "This changes our approach. We need more than just weapons. We need information." The next 7 days saw the greatest unified effort in human history. Old enemies shared military secrets. Scientists worked around the clock. Every satellite and telescope focused on the alien ships. Lieutenant Samantha Coleman, a tactical officer with the U.S. Navy, proposed a daring plan. "We can't match their technology," she told Admiral Carter, "but we can use their expectations against them." Her plan involved small, stealthy craft that could approach the alien vessels undetected, not to attack, but to gather data and test their defenses. "It's risky," Carter said. "If they detect these missions, they might see it as an act of war." "With respect, sir," Coleman replied, "we're already at war. They just haven't started shooting yet." Carter approved the mission. 3 stealth craft painted with light-absorbing material and running on minimal power drifted toward the alien fleet. Lieutenant Coleman led the operation from a secure bunker in Colorado. The mission yielded crucial information. The alien ships had blind spots in their detection systems. Their hulls contained access points that might be vulnerable. Most importantly, the stealth craft recorded energy fluctuations that Dr. Hayes believed revealed how their propulsion worked. "They bend space," he explained to the assembled leaders, "creating artificial gravity wells. It's incredibly efficient, but it creates distinctive energy patterns." "Can we disrupt these patterns?" asked President Wright. "Theoretically, yes. We'd need massive electromagnetic pulses precisely targeted." "How massive?" Admiral Carter asked. Hayes looked grim. "More power than any single facility on Earth can generate." The solution came from an unexpected source. Dr. Mei Lin, a Chinese physicist, suggested linking power grids across continents. "No single nation has enough power," she said, "but together we might." As engineers worked to make this possible, another crisis emerged. Security Officer Jack Mitchell discovered evidence of information leaks. Someone was transmitting data about Earth's defenses to the alien fleet. Mitchell, a former FBI agent with a scar across his left cheek, worked methodically. The transmission came from inside a military base in Germany. Security cameras showed nothing unusual, but power usage in one lab was higher than normal. When security forces breached the lab, they found Dr. Howard Wells, a respected scientist, connecting strange technology to the base's communications array. The device wasn't human-made. Under interrogation, Wells revealed the truth. He wasn't Howard Wells at all. The real Wells had been replaced 3 years ago. The being that looked human was actually an advanced scout for the Galactic Council. "You cannot win," the alien said, its human disguise now dropping as its skin took on a metallic sheen. "The Council has been watching Earth for decades. We know your weaknesses." "You know our old weaknesses," Mitchell said. "You don't know what we're capable of when united." The discovery of infiltrators caused panic, but also strengthened resolve. If the aliens thought spying was necessary, perhaps Earth had a chance after all. As the 7-day extension neared its end, President Wright called for a global broadcast. Standing alone before a simple podium, she addressed not just humanity, but the watching aliens. "To the Galactic Council, we have considered your ultimatum. Our answer remains the same. Earth will not surrender its freedom." She paused, her voice growing stronger. "But we are not closed to peaceful relations. If the Council wishes to trade, to share knowledge as equals, we welcome that conversation. War benefits neither of us." She turned slightly, now speaking directly, to Earth's people. "To my fellow humans, we face our greatest challenge, not as separate nations but as one world. Whatever comes next, we face it together." The response from the alien fleet was immediate. Their ships began powering weapon systems. Xanthar's voice echoed across global communications. "Your choice is made. The Council's judgment follows." The first attack came at dawn. Energy beams struck military installations across the globe. Missile bases, naval yards, and airfields erupted in flames. Earth's conventional defenses, impressive against human enemies, meant nothing to the alien weapons. Admiral Carter, aboard the newly commissioned UNS Endeavour in the Pacific, ordered the first counterattack. Earth's combined navies launched missiles at the alien vessels. Most were destroyed before reaching their targets, but a few exploded near enough to provide valuable data on the aliens' defensive capabilities. In orbit, Earth's hastily upgraded satellites attempted to jam alien communications. For a brief moment, confusion seemed to spread among the alien fleet. Lieutenant Coleman's voice came through on the bridge of the Endeavour. "Sir, they're regrouping, but we've confirmed Dr. Hayes's theory. Their communication systems are vulnerable to our electromagnetic pulses." Carter nodded grimly. "Good work, Lieutenant. Tell Hayes to prepare the global EMP. We'll only get one shot at this." As night fell across the Americas, the first day of the war for Earth's freedom ended. The planet was bloodied but unbowed. In labs and bunkers worldwide, humanity prepared its response. The real battle was just beginning. Dawn broke over a changed world. Smoke rose from destroyed military bases. Hospitals overflowed with wounded. Yet in underground bunkers and hidden facilities, work continued without pause. Dr. Hayes hadn't slept in 36 hours. His eyes were red as he reviewed the data from Lieutenant Coleman's stealth mission. "The power requirements are enormous," he told Admiral Carter over a secure video link. "We need every major power plant on Earth working together, and even then we'll only get one shot." "One shot might be enough," Carter replied. His face was bandaged where debris had struck him during an attack on the Endeavour. "How soon?" 3 days. Maybe 4. Carter shook his head. "We might not have that long." Above Earth, the alien fleet had grown. New ships arrived hourly, taking positions around the planet. Their attacks were precise. Military targets only. Minimal civilian casualties. They weren't trying to exterminate humanity. They wanted submission. In Washington, President Wright met with the alien infiltrator captured in Germany. The creature now sat in a specially designed cell, its human disguise completely gone. Its skin was metallic, its 4 eyes constantly moving. "Why does the Council want Earth?" Wright asked directly. The alien made a sound like metal scraping metal. Perhaps laughter. "Your planet sits at a strategic location. Several hyperspace roads intersect near your solar system. But mainly, we need your people." "As slaves?" Wright's voice was hard. "As workers. The Council needs labor for its projects. Your species is adaptable, hardy, and numerous. You could have asked for our help." The alien's eyes blinked in sequence. "Lower species don't get asked, they get used." This conversation confirmed what many had suspected. The Council saw humans as resources, not equals. There would be no fair negotiation. Lieutenant Coleman's team analyzed the combat data from the first day of attacks. She noticed something important. The alien ships maintain a tight formation, she told her superiors. When one takes damage, others adjust to protect it. They fight as a single unit. "That's a strength," General Martinez pointed out. "It's also a weakness," Coleman replied. "If we disrupt their coordination even briefly, they become vulnerable." Her insight proved valuable as Earth launched its next wave of defenses. Missiles carried electronic warfare packages designed to interfere with alien communications. Fighter jets, though hopelessly outmatched in direct combat, served as decoys to test alien response patterns. Every engagement provided more data. Every destroyed Earth vessel or installation taught humanity something about their enemy. Jack Mitchell, now heading a global security team, worked to identify more alien infiltrators. He discovered they all shared subtle traits their disguises couldn't quite hide. They never seemed to blink naturally. They avoided certain foods, and they gave off slightly different heat signatures than humans. Using these markers, Mitchell's team uncovered 23 more infiltrators in key positions worldwide. Each capture revealed more about Council tactics and technology. One infiltrator, found in a Chinese research facility, carried a communication device unlike the others. Under careful study, it revealed transmissions to a location not within the main alien fleet but to somewhere deeper in the solar system. "There's another faction," Olivia Mason concluded after analyzing the data, "maybe not fully aligned with the main Council forces." This discovery led to a daring plan. Using the captured communication device, Earth sent a message to this unknown faction. The response came 12 hours later, coordinates for a meeting location on the far side of the moon. Admiral Carter volunteered to lead the mission himself. It's too risky, President Wright argued. We can't lose you. With respect, Madam President, this may be our only chance to find an ally. I need to go. A small, stealthy craft carried Carter, Olivia Mason, and a small security team to the lunar meeting point. They found a ship unlike the others in the Council fleet, smaller with organic-looking curves instead of sharp angles. The being that emerged stood nearly 8 feet tall, with translucent skin that seemed to shift colors with its mood. It called itself Neri, a representative of the Solari, a species that had once fought the Council and lost. We have watched your resistance with interest, Neri told them. Few species defy the Council. Fewer still survive the experience. We don't plan on just surviving, Carter said. We plan on winning. Neri made a whistling sound that might have been amusement. Bold words. The Solari once thought as you do. Now we serve, though not by choice. Help us, Olivia suggested. Together we might succeed where your people failed. The risk is great, Neri said, but the Council grows too powerful. Other species grow restless under their rule. After a pause, Neri added, I will share what I know of their weaknesses. The information Neri provided proved invaluable. The Council ship's gravitational drives required precise coordination. Disrupt that coordination with a strong enough electromagnetic pulse, and their entire fleet would be temporarily disabled. Back on Earth, the global EMP weapon neared completion. Power grids across continents were linked. Special satellites were positioned to focus the pulse. But there was a problem. During final testing, the main power relay failed catastrophically. Examining the wreckage, Dr. Hayes discovered it had been sabotaged. There are still infiltrators we haven't found, he told President Wright. Someone who knew exactly where to strike. Security footage revealed nothing useful. Whoever had done this knew how to avoid detection. The sabotage set the project back by days. Days Earth didn't have. The alien attacks intensified. Major cities now faced bombardment, though still precision strikes targeting infrastructure rather than population centers. The Council wanted Earth intact but unable to resist. In a hidden facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Lieutenant Coleman proposed a desperate alternative. We don't need a global EMP, she said. We need targeted strikes at key ships in their formation. Dr. Hayes's data shows their fleet has a hierarchical structure. Take out the command vessels and the rest will be disorganized. Her plan required small teams to get close enough to the alien ships to deploy localized EMP devices. It would be a suicide mission for most involved. I'll lead the main strike. Team myself, she said. Admiral Carter, just returned from the lunar meeting, studied her plan. We'd need volunteers willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. We already have them, Coleman replied, handing him a list of names, pilots and special forces operators who had stepped forward, knowing the likely outcome. As preparations for this last-ditch effort began, Dr. Hayes had a breakthrough. Studying the sabotaged relay, he realized it could be rebuilt using components from alien technology captured during earlier skirmishes. Their power systems are more efficient than ours, he explained. If we adapt their technology to our purposes, we might still make the global EMP work. It became a race against time. Coleman's strike teams prepared for their likely one-way mission, while Hayes and his team worked frantically to repair the EMP weapon. The fate of Earth would be decided in the next 24 hours. The sky burned red as alien weapons targeted major cities. London, Beijing, Cairo, and dozens more faced precision strikes that destroyed power plants, bridges, and communications towers. The Council wanted to break humanity's will to fight without destroying the labor force they coveted. Aboard the UNS Endeavour, Admiral Carter reviewed the final plans. Lieutenant Coleman's strike teams were ready. 6 small craft, each carrying an EMP device built with modified alien technology, would approach, key command ships in the Council fleet. It was a desperate gamble with little chance of success. We launch in 4 hours, Carter told the assembled pilots. I won't lie to you. Most of you won't be coming back. A young pilot named Frank Wilson stepped forward. We know the odds, sir. We're ready. Meanwhile, Dr. Hayes worked frantically in his underground lab. The sabotage had cost them precious time, but his team had succeeded in rebuilding the power relay using alien components. The global EMP weapon was nearly operational. 2 more hours, he told President Wright over a secure line. Maybe 3. We might not have that long, she replied, watching satellite feeds of the intensifying attacks. Lieutenant Coleman's teams are about to launch. Tell them to wait, Hayes urged. If we can get the global EMP working, we won't need to sacrifice those pilots. I can't hold them back based on maybes, Wright said sadly. We need certainty. Jack Mitchell's security team had tracked the saboteur to a facility in Brazil. They found not an alien infiltrator, but a human collaborator, Dr. Susan Reed, a brilliant engineer who believed humanity should submit to the Council. They're too powerful, she told her captors. Fighting only ensures more suffering. That's not your choice to make for everyone, Mitchell replied. Reed revealed something unexpected. The Council wasn't as unified as it appeared. 3 major factions competed for influence: the Dominants who led the invasion, the Preservers who preferred cautious observation, and the Seekers who valued knowledge above conquest. The Dominants control the fleet now, Reed explained. But their position is not secure. That's why they need a quick victory. This information gave Mitchell an idea. He contacted Olivia Mason, who was working with the Solari representative Neary. Can we communicate with these other factions? Mitchell asked. Possibly, Neary replied. But it would require access to a Council communication node. Lieutenant Coleman's mission took on an additional objective. One team would attempt to capture an intact communication node from a smaller Council vessel. As night fell over the Pacific, 6 small Earthcraft slipped away from the Endeavor. They used every stealth technology available, plus knowledge gained from the Solari about Council sensor blind spots. Lieutenant Coleman led the main strike team targeting the Council's apparent flagship, a massive vessel 3 miles long. The first part of the mission went better than expected. 2 teams reached their targets undetected and attached their EMP devices to the hulls of Council support ships. A third team, led by pilot Diane Foster, successfully disabled a small scout ship and extracted its communication node. Package secured, Foster reported, returning to base. But then things went wrong. The Council detected the other 3 teams. Energy weapons lashed out, destroying 1 Earthcraft instantly. Coleman's team took evasive action but lost their EMP device in the process. Abort mission, Carter ordered when he saw the situation deteriorating. All teams return immediately. 2 teams made it back. Coleman's craft was hit but remained partially functional. As alien vessels closed in on her position, she made a split-second decision. Sorry, Admiral, she said over the cracking comm system, but I'm not coming home empty-handed. She aimed her damaged craft directly at the Council flagship and pushed, the engines beyond safety limits. The small ship accelerated toward the massive alien vessel, evading defensive fire through sheer unpredictability as systems failed across the craft. In her final moments, Coleman activated the craft's self-destruct sequence designed to create a localized EMP pulse. Her ship struck the alien flagship and exploded. The effect was immediate. The flagship's lights flickered. Its weapons went silent. The perfect formation of surrounding vessels broke as coordination failed. Back on Earth, Foster delivered the captured communication node to Olivia Mason and Neary. Working together, they crafted messages in the Council's own communication protocols, sending them to vessels identified as belonging to the Preserver and Seeker factions. We know of your internal divisions, the message stated. The Dominant's conquest has failed. Join us in negotiation, or be destroyed with them. It was a bluff, but one supported by the sudden vulnerability of the Dominant faction's flagship following Coleman's sacrifice. In his underground facility, Dr. Hayes watched the power levels rising on the global EMP weapon. 90%, he announced. 95. President Wright gave the order. Fire. The combined power of Earth's linked electrical grids surged through specially designed transformers. Satellites focused the electromagnetic pulse, directing it at the alien fleet. The pulse washed over the Council ships like an invisible tide. Already destabilized by Coleman's strike and the confusion of conflicting orders, the fleet's coordination completely collapsed. Ships drifted out of formation. Some collided with others. Weapon systems went offline. Admiral Carter didn't waste the opportunity. Earth's remaining military forces launched a coordinated attack on the vulnerable fleet. Missiles that would have been easily intercepted now found their targets. Fighter jets engaged alien craft that could no longer coordinate their defensive fire. The Council flagship, still reeling from Coleman's attack and the global EMP, faced the concentrated fire of 3 aircraft carriers worth of missiles. Its hull, designed to withstand energy weapons, proved less effective against Earth's primitive explosives delivered in massive numbers. The flagship broke apart in Earth's orbit, pieces burning as they entered the atmosphere. In the midst of the chaos, 2 Council vessels moved away from the main fleet. They broadcast on frequencies that Neary had identified as belonging to the Preserver and Seeker factions. "We wish to discuss terms," came the message from one ship. The dominant faction no longer speaks for the Council. For the first time since the alien ships appeared, hope bloomed across Earth. Humanity had not just survived, they had fought back effectively against the greatest threat they had ever faced. But the war was far from over. Many Council ships remained operational. The dominant faction, though wounded, was not defeated, and Earth had exhausted much of its defensive capability in this desperate gamble. "We've won a battle," President Wright told her advisors as reports of the Council flagship's destruction came in. "Not the war." Admiral Carter nodded grimly. "But we've shown them something important." "What's that?" Wright asked. "That humans don't kneel." 3 months had passed since the destruction of the Council flagship. Earth was changed forever. Major cities still showed the scars of battle. Alien debris orbited the planet, studied by teams of scientists. And in Geneva, representatives of humanity met with delegates from the Preserver and Seeker factions of the Galactic Council. Admiral Carter, his face bearing new scars, watched the proceedings with caution. He didn't trust any Council members regardless of faction, but President Wright believed diplomacy was worth attempting. "We have misjudged your species," said the Preserver representative, a being with 6 limbs and skin that shimmered like oil on water. "The dominants assured us you would surrender quickly." "They were wrong about many things," Wright replied simply. "The negotiations were tense. Though the dominants had lost significant power after their defeat at Earth, they still controlled many Council worlds. The war continued, with battles fought across the solar system as remaining dominant ships refused to retreat. Dr. Hayes led the effort to understand and adapt alien technology. He worked closely with Neary and other Solari who had come forward after seeing humanity's successful resistance. Their gravitational drives could revolutionize space travel, Hayes explained to a group of international scientists. And their communication technology operates on principles we're just beginning to understand. Earth's defenses grew stronger by the day. The knowledge gained from captured alien ships allowed humans to build their own advanced weapons. Ships, that combined Earth's proven technologies with Council innovations, took shape in orbiting construction facilities. Olivia Mason made another important discovery. Analyzing the communication patterns of distant Council worlds, she detected signs of unrest. "It's not just the Solari," she told President Wright. "Other species are watching what happens here. Our resistance has inspired them." Reports confirmed her theory. On 3 Council-controlled planets, subject species had risen in open rebellion. The rigid order maintained for thousands of years was beginning to crack. Jack Mitchell's security teams remained vigilant. Though most alien infiltrators had been captured or fled after the flagship's destruction, the threat remained. His agents uncovered a plot by dominant loyalists to sabotage Earth's new defensive systems. "They still believe they can win," Mitchell told Admiral Carter. "Or at least, they want revenge." The captured saboteurs revealed the dominant's desperate plan. They had called for reinforcements from the far reaches of Council space, a massive battle fleet that would arrive within weeks. In response, Earth accelerated its preparations. The first human-built ships with adapted alien technology were rushed into service. Admiral Carter would command the lead vessel, named the Coleman in honor of the lieutenant who had sacrificed herself. President Wright addressed the United Nations as the fleet prepared to depart. 3 months ago, the Galactic Council demanded, "We kneel," she said. They expected submission, they found defiance. Today we take the next step. We will not merely defend Earth. We will secure our place among the stars. The Coleman and its sister ships took position near the orbit of Mars, where the dominant reinforcements were expected to emerge from faster-than-light travel. They were joined by vessels from the Preserver and Seeker factions who had committed to an alliance with Earth. Neri served as liaison aboard the Coleman. "Your species learns quickly," the Solari told Admiral Carter. "In one season you have matched technological advances that took others centuries." "We had good motivation," Carter replied. "Nothing inspires human ingenuity like someone telling us we can't do something." The waiting was tense. Earth cities prepared for possible attack. Civilian shelters, built during the previous months, stood ready. But the real battle would be fought far from Earth. The dominant fleet arrived with a flash of light that briefly outshone the sun. Hundreds of ships, larger and more heavily armed than those in the first wave, emerged near Mars. Their commander broadcast a message to Earth. "Your defiance ends today. The Council has ruled for 10,000 years. It will rule for 10,000 more." Carter's response was brief. "We've heard that before." The battle began. Earth ships, though fewer in number, used tactics the dominants had never encountered. Small, fast attack craft targeted the enemy's communication nodes, disrupting their perfect formation. Larger vessels deployed the improved EMP weapons developed by Dr. Hayes, creating zones of disabled alien technology. For hours, the battle raged across the orbit of Mars. Earth took heavy losses. 3 of the new ships were destroyed. But the dominant fleet suffered worse. Their rigid tactics, unchanged for millennia, proved vulnerable to human adaptability. The tide turned when a group of Earth ships, led by pilot Diane Foster, executed a maneuver that split the dominant formation. Flying through gaps in their defense screen, Foster's squadron delivered EMP warheads directly to the heart of the enemy fleet. The dominant command ship, unable to coordinate its forces, faced concentrated fire from Earth and allied vessels. Its destruction sent shockwaves through the remaining enemy ships. Some surrendered. Others retreated into faster-than-light travel. The battle for Sol System was over. Earth had won. In the days that followed, messages arrived from across Council. Space, other subjugated species inspired by humanity's example, had risen against their overseers. The Council's iron grip on the galaxy was failing. 1 month after the Battle of Mars, representatives from 7 species, including humans and Solari, met on neutral ground to form a new alliance. Not a council that demanded obedience, but a coalition of equals. Dr. Olivia Mason, chosen as Earth's scientific representative, signed the founding document. As she did, she remembered the night she had first detected the alien signal at Arecibo. How frightened she had been, how uncertain of humanity's future. Now she looked around at the gathered representatives, different in form but united in purpose. The future remained uncertain, but it would be shaped by cooperation, not conquest. Admiral Carter, watching from Earth via holographic link, allowed himself a rare smile. The cost had been high. Too many good people, like Lieutenant Coleman, had sacrificed everything. Earth still bore the scars of battle, and recovery would take years, but humanity had kept its promise. When ordered to kneel, they had answered, "Never." And in refusing to surrender their freedom, they had changed the galaxy forever.